Hello and welcome to the Mets in the UK podcast. My name's Tracey and I'm joined today by the beautiful Toria. Hello, baby. How are you doing?
Evening. How are you?
Concussed, but that's another story.
I am taking no responsibility for that whatsoever.
You're on the phone to me. It's your fault.
I'm clearly that distracting.
Yes. And Jojo? Jojo, how are you, my love?
I'm really angry.
What?
Yeah.
What are you angry about?
I'm angry because the Mets are trolling me. That's why I'm angry, because I've been going on about this hat I really like for ages, the spring training one, and then they email me a giant picture of it just to rub it in. Click on the link and it's not there anyway.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Well,
to.
apparently, Greg Giannotti from Wafan says it makes the Mets look like clowns.
Well, I like clowns and I want to look like one too.
It's like, it's spring training. It's meant to be fun, playful, one for the kids almost. Yes, Joe, you are a big kid.
Oh yeah, just look
We need to
behind
get
me.
Jojo a cap, people.
Yes,
That's
we're
what
on a
we-
mission.
We need a cap for Joe. Sort it out, people. Let's go.
Yes. But it is officially spring training. Pitchers and catchers have reported.
Yes, kinda. We'll get on to that.
No, but don't get ahead of me, woman. Look at her giggling away. At least she's not coughing this week.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So just after we finished last week, Pete was made officially official as we predicted. It happened a day or so after we recorded last week. 2 years, 54 million. What do we think? Quick one. I know it's not a surprise.
Good business is what I think.
Yep.
Inevitable. I've said it all along. It's good business. That's all it is. It worked. He wanted to stay with us. We wanted him back. Just got to make sure that it worked out right and proper and sensible. I'm
Yes.
very happy to have him back.
Absolutely. Jojo?
What she said.
That was very concise. Thank you very much. Apparently, Pete's open to talks next year about a longer term extension, but he'll be 31 at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He in the press conference, he was, banging on about how it was always the Mets for him. I think that's partly perhaps to try and I think he can't not be aware of how his behavior will have affected some of the fans' relationship with him. So I think part of it was a bit of that. Part of it's some gamesmanship, getting ahead for next year. But look, they've structured the deal in such a way that he is even more motivated to have a good year this year. We want him to have a good year. He wants to have a good year. And then we can review it in a year's time and see what the options are at that point. I mean, we'd love nothing more than for Pete to be a Met for life, just like Brandon's going to be, just like Francisco's probably going to be. But he's got to have a good year.
Yeah. One of our followers on YouTube, don't forget to follow us on socials, by the way, guys, said if he's healthy, or at least mostly healthy, Alonso will set the Mets home run record. But whether he stays 1 or 2 years or extends, the record is not likely to last that long, with Soto coming in and 15 years on his contract. What do you think, ladies?
Pressure's on Pete. And I'm sure he'll do it, won't he? But he's also got the shadow of Vlad Guerrero Jr. looming as well, hasn't he? So a bit of extra spice to add to the mixer.
Absolutely. And Tom isn't with us this week, but he did send us a couple of messages giving us his opinion. Hi, Tom. Miss you. He said Pete will break it before the All-Star break, and he can see Soto beating it if he stays for the full 15.
It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But he's only a bubby.
Pete's going to break it. It's pretty enough. So as long as he stays healthy, obviously. Let's not jinx him. Please stay healthy, Pete.
Speaking of staying healthy, there has been some divided opinions from the fan base. Some people are saying he looks really skinny. I hate that word. Hate it. And others are saying he looks in great form. I'm not for fat shaming, skinny shaming, whatever it is. What do you think, ladies? Do you think he looks like he's fit and athletic and all the rest of it?
As long as he hits home runs, I don't care what he looks like.
That is a fair point. Now, I do think I think I put it in our chat yesterday. He's looking in really good shape, like already, in better shape than he was last year. Which I think, if nothing else, mentally for him is probably going to play a part. If he's feeling fitter and stronger, it's bound to translate into how he comes to the plate. So, I'm all for it. I think he's looking great.
Yeah. Speaking of staying fit and healthy, Kodai Senga is back.
Yes,
Let's hope he stays that way.
Yeah. Stay back.
He says he's feeling fit and has done since last month, and is throwing off the mound and looks in really good shape, looks strong, and I hope it stays that way.
It's a beautiful sight.
It is.
We want to see
really
those little
is.
ghosty strikeout things, don't we, at the ballpark?
Yes, from my mate Dan at Athletic Logos, yeah.
That's what we want to see.
And another one who's feeling healthy and makes a thing about having lost weight is Kevin Parada. He's
made me laugh.
He's dropped 15 pounds by dropping lemon flavoured treats and salted caramel ice cream.
Lemon flavoured treats, well, like sherbet lemons. Is that what he eats?
Yeah, that's his diet. It's sherbet lemons and salted caramel ice cream.
Do you get sherbet lemons in America? Do they have sherbet lemons?
I don't know.
Is that an us thing?
I think that's an us thing.
Yeah, not noticed. I'm sure they must have something that's similar. But yeah, he likes all things lemon, apparently. I mean, I said it at the time, like the guy has got way more willpower than I have. I mean, I cannot resist anything salted caramel. So, if somebody puts anything salted caramel in front of me, I am done for. So
yes,
how he resists that is beyond me. But good work, Kev.
Do you know what my favourite lemon thing is?
Go on.
Lemon French fancies.
Oh,
love them. Just throwing that in there.
It.
In case anyone else has the same affliction as me, but they are lush.
Oh no, for me it's lemon sorbet.
Oh, nice, classy.
Yeah,
very classy.
So hopefully Parada will be able to provide an amazing backup for Alvy, who is going to stay fit and healthy. You heard it here first.
We've still got Torrens, haven't we?
We have.
Have you? Here
Don't panic, Joe.
I know, panic then.
I could see it in your eyes behind your really intelligent looking glasses.
Does it make a difference? Only if you're watching on YouTube, obviously.
I think, Parada came close to breaking through, didn't he, last year, and didn't quite make it. And I think he's hoping that the work he's putting on the off season is going to make the difference. It's good to have some good competition. It's what we need. We've not really had competition catcher for a long time, so it'll be good for them to have that bit of fun.
And again, he is only young. He's only 3 years out of college. He's 22, I believe. So there's still plenty of time for him to develop and get up higher in the minor league system and hopefully come through and break out and be amazing.
Of course.
Yes.
Waiting for him.
Yes. One who won't be with us for a little while is Frankie Montas. He is shut down for 6 to 8 weeks with a high-grade lat strain. He's travelled back to New York to receive medical care. And then, of course, he will need spring training. He's a pitcher. So shut down 6 to 8 weeks plus spring training. I reckon we're going to be lucky to see him before All-Star break.
Yeah, hopefully this is the only kind of, I'm going to touch wood and all that stuff. This is the only bump we're going to get in spring training, because we always get a few. Hope maybe this might be the only major thing, and the rest of it will be relatively smooth sailing. What do you think? I cursed it.
Yeah, probably, but you know what I mean? Like, there's been a complete meltdown over this.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just a bit of an overreaction, in my opinion. I think we have depth in our starting pitching. It's not like, now if it were this time last year, I'd be a bit more concerned. We have depth. We've got Blackburn coming back, who before he was injured was looking decent. We've got McGill, who on his day is decent and relatively consistent, and we can go to him. We've got Canning, who, as I've mentioned before, is inconsistent, but he's had some time already. He's going to have spring training. Let's see what he can do. We have options. And if you think about, maybe we're talking 3 months out, but how many starts is that really?
Yeah.
That, it's not, it would be great to have him, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. And I am a little bit over the whole socials meltdown over it. We have pictures, people. I mean, don't get me wrong, if we signed up Dylan Cease tomorrow, I am over the moon. But this does not mean that we have to go and do that. I would think that if we were going to do that, it's because we were planning to do it anyway.
I think that's didn't Sean ask that on, is it X, saying, do you reckon we'll dip into the market now he's injured? But I don't know if we will, unless something bargainous came up.
Yeah, because as we're going to cover shortly, Uncle Steve was on Meet the Apple. He basically said he doesn't want to sell the farm for a short-term rental.
Absolutely.
We've done too much of that
Yeah,
in
I
the
live
past
my
in the
life by
Wilcon
those
era.
rules. I live my life by those rules.
They're good rules to live by.
I'm not
They
selling
are
my
good
farm
rules.
for anyone.
Your massive farm that you have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Jose Buto is officially a reliever and not kicking up a stink about it, like a certain former Met could mention.
I am loving that move. I loved it. I thought it was a genius move last year. It really worked for him. I am delighted. And I think it's good for him to know that that's the situation. He's going to be available if we get struck by a ton of injuries in the pitching.
Yeah,
we can bring him through to start. But I think for him going into the season, knowing that that is his role, I think it's great. And it really worked for him last year. So happy days.
Something to focus on, isn't it? He knows exactly what he needs to do. So there's no confusion there. Just focus on that and get the job done.
Yeah, easy. I think it would be easier to ramp it up from 45 to 80, say.
Absolutely.
If he does have to start on occasion, rather than, say, 20 as a short reliever. And I think he's got the mentality for it as well. He doesn't seem to let a lot faze him. But I think it, like you say, it's good for him to know this is your role, this is what you're doing. But fingers crossed, touching wood, we won't need you for anything else.
Yeah, we've got him in the back pocket if needed, haven't we? So
yeah, there he is.
So, as I touched on, Uncle Steve had his annual meeting with our friend Howie, and
Toria's bestie.
Yeah. It was recorded on Valentine's Day, released yesterday on Mets YouTube. Go and give it a watch if you haven't already. It's funny, especially when another Major League owner rings Uncle Steve in the middle of the recording. So any highlights, any thoughts if you've watched it?
I've watched it.
Watched it.
That's on my to-do list, girls, I promise.
Do it. It was lovely. I think that one of the main things that came across for me was how relaxed Steve was. It was it was lovely. He was having a chat with a friend. He was open and transparent, like we've come to expect from him. He didn't shy away from anything that he was asked. He gave a good, solid, expansive answer. And he seemed really genuine as well, which again is something that we've come to expect from him. I don't think that there was anything surprising in there, aside from how he was saying about Scott Boras not really talking in their meeting. So Yeah, that was quite amusing. But can we talk a little bit about his comments about the attendance last year?
Yep.
Because I don't think he was wrong at all. Everybody's got their reasons, and Howie made a good point at first, which was around it reflecting performance from the year before, which I get that. We were there for opening weekend and it was dead. I mean, it was freezing cold, which didn't help.
Yeah.
It was dead. But Steve's point was towards the end of the season when we were in a pennant race and people still weren't going. But I think, that's partly on the Mets as well. Perhaps they need to do more to incentivize people. If people are going as a family, it's not
expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not, and they do. I mean, there obviously are certain promotions that they do and stuff, but it's still, it's still not a cheap day out. A lot of people have to travel. Parking, I know, puts a hell of a lot of people off.
Yeah,
people are always complaining about the cost of the parking. So I think that there needs to be. I don't disagree with him that attendance was perhaps disappointing at times, and even for us here watching on TV, sometimes we were a bit like, come on guys, let's go.
Yeah. Was that the kind of midweek stuff, or is it weekends as well? It was quiet then.
He mentioned a game against the Nationals just before the end of the season where there was 18,000 in attendance.
Yeah, he called that one out specifically, but I just think in general, I mean, weeknights are always going to be quieter than the weekends, obviously, but I think I would hope that this season is going to be, there are going to be more around, but I think there's things that can be done from both sides, but I think it was good to raise that conversation, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing, because he knew people like us would talk about it and people online would talk about it. He knew what he was doing when he raised it, but it's a valid point. But Steve, it's got to work both ways.
Do you know what was good though? It was like, although obviously you say the Mets could do more and all that kind of thing, the way that certain characters took it on themselves to like provide entertainment in the ballpark. So whether that be like people as Grimace or the what's his name? Oh, my mind's gone blank. OMG staff and all that. It was good that people took that mantle almost to like make it a day out and an event every game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if ever he wants to bring some UK vibe and
UK night
over, then we'll oblige.
We would happily help with that. But maybe more needs to be done, like what I think it's the Orioles that are doing a $5 and less menu options.
That kind of difference.
And $7 and less beer options, which I know is not family friendly, but if you're taking a group of friends along and you wanted a drink, then there are cheaper options and you could take a bigger group potentially, because you're spending less, because alcohol is a lot more expensive in the US than it is in the UK.
And everyone's feeling the pinch, whatever part of the world you're in, aren't they? So anything like that would help.
Absolutely. And I also think that the development that they're doing, I think once that's complete around City Field, that's going to make a difference, because
we're going to be there all day, aren't we?
Exactly. It will be a destination at that point, because there'll be so much more to do before and after the game. So I think that will help get people there. I know it's going to be great.
I know. Can we hurry up? Get it done.
Well, Steve is in the bidding for one of, I think it's 3 casino licenses in the city, and the one thing that I read yesterday that said he's got going for him is it won't be funded by public funds, it'll be private investment, including his own money. He wants to stump it all up himself. Good on him. Because it's 17 years since City Field opened, and Howie was saying in the recording that sort of this time into Shay's lifespan, it was feeling old, because it was publicly owned, and City Field doesn't have that pressure, and and the Cohen family are making improvements like the big screen and everything else. And if they can spread that to sort of the wider Queens area, you can imagine the jobs that's going to bring into the area.
Yeah.
And the revenue of people staying in the hotel, going to the casino, going to the soccer games, going and eating at the restaurants, drinking at the bars. And it's going to get more people into the area, provide more money for the locals as well, because there are more jobs and things like that. So I only see it as a good thing personally.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Absolutely. And they were saying that it needs to be more of a year-round thing, like the Braves.
Yeah, they have like a whole superstore, don't they?
But not only that, they have other things going on throughout the year to keep the income in, which means that they can afford more things for the ballpark, because it's outside of MLB revenue structure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
they've got
not
like a whole
subject.
shopping centre,
Yeah.
haven't they?
Yeah. And that means we can afford more players like Soto. So
Steady.
yes. And in today's press conference, Steve has said he wants to reach playoffs at minimum. What do you think? And Stuart on Twitter said, would it be considered a failure if the Mets don't make it to the playoffs?
Oh, go on, Tor, you go. I'll copy you.
Are you thinking about it, Joe?
Yeah.
I think I said this the other day. I think we have to be ideally aiming for winning the division, and we have to make postseason. We all know anything can happen when you get to postseason. So I would hate to say that there are expectations beyond that, because as we showed ourselves last year, once you're there, absolutely anything can happen. We weren't favourites in any of the stages of postseason. No. So, you know, anything can happen when you get there. I would love the division title. I would love it. I'm not doing going here anymore. But hit postseason. There is no reason we should be backwards from last year. We have improved. So yes, to the point, I think that anything other than postseason without crazy extenuating circumstances would be considered a failure.
Jojo?
I enjoyed immensely the roller coaster of a season we had last year, but I'll tell you what would be nice, to have a good start and then just be consistent all year.
Yeah.
I know, with fun bits sprinkled in, obviously, consistent all year. And then I'm with Tor. I'd love to win the division. I want the East to be ours again, because I can get all that merch and things, because I like a bit of merch. But yeah, I like a good start, consistency, and I think we do have to get there, because we've invested so much with players like Soto. It would be very disappointing if we didn't. And then once we're there, whatever happens, happens. And if we go all the way, then so be it.
Yeah, I think I agree with both you ladies. We have invested so much money in players like Pete, like Soto, like Mania, and in making our pitches better and things like that are outside of the game directly, but do feed into it. And yeah, it would be really, really bitter pill to swallow if we don't make postseason.
There are kind of three things really that stand out for me, which make this coming year on paper a stronger year than last year. One is obviously Juan Soto. Two, look at our bullpen. We're going into the start of the season with like I'm
loving it.
A bullpen.
It's a bullpen. What even is that? And Fitzanger. So I think if you add those three things to what we had last year, and we haven't lost a lot of what we had last year. Don't even get me started about no more Beatty.
Oh dear. Quick, move on.
Breathe.
Move on. I mean, we've still got Ty. I still love Ty, but and there's talk of maybe chats with Iglesias, but we've got Winker back, as we mentioned last week. I am delighted that he's back. I don't think that we've lost a lot of the core from last year, is the point. So we added to that in significant ways. Bring it. And we're going to love them whatever they do, because
beat the Braves, beat the Phillies, because they're annoying,
Yeah.
That's true. Beat the Yankees again. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be just the icing on the cake.
Who's going to get the walk-off? I wonder in that game. Mr. Soto, maybe?
Soto walk-off against the Yankees.
Picture it now.
Grand slam.
I'm manifesting it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and we'll come back to this moment when it happens. We're like, yeah, we told you.
We told you. We were right.
You heard it here first.
Indeed. We touched on this last week. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is officially going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he said in a press conference that he wants to play for a winning team. Come on, Vlad. We're waiting.
We've got to win first, but we're waiting.
Yeah. But I again, I think like he will want to see ambition and progression, and it comes back to what Steve's trying to build, right? He keeps saying that he wants to build something that's going to last and be sustainable and have continued success, because we know that baseball particularly, and all US sports, they're cyclical. That's how it works. That's why we have a draft system and all that kind of stuff. But if you get a good core, you can, and a great farm that he is protecting.
Yes.
What universe are we in? You can build for that long-term success. And I think even if we don't win it all this year, I think with seeing those foundations, I think we're still going to be an attractive option for him. And I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to die on this cross. Maddie to first base, Pete to DH next year. Thank you. I am a happy girl.
Easily pleased. And also we're kind of improving on and off the field too, aren't we? So Steve's put a lot of work behind the scenes off the field. So if we can get the on-field stuff right as well, because obviously people have been talking about how they want to join and their families are looked after and all that kind of stuff. So get it right on the field too, and we are well away.
Yeah, Steve mentioned Alex in his conversation with Howie, said what an asset she is to the organisation, in that she helps families settle when they're in New York and takes that pressure off the players so that they can just concentrate on their day job. And she looks after the families. Yeah.
There have been a couple of times like I've just missed out. I've been with my friends and they've gone, oh, Alex was just here.
Oh no.
Gutted, because I might actually cry, but like, isn't she just
like this? Not worthy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Isn't she just such a wonderful role model and presence? And she just seems so genuine and lovely. I'd love
and she looks like she gives great hugs too.
Oh, great! I love hugs.
Exactly. Yeah, you do, Joe. But yeah, I'm a hugger.
I'd hug her. She's amazing. I'd hug her.
Yeah,
it is. And we've got a cute bit of news. We've got a new baby Lindor on the way. Francisco's wife Katia is pregnant with a baby boy who is coming soon, according to her Instagram. I mean, if I was them, I wouldn't be announcing dates and things, because you can imagine the speculation, and she doesn't need that kind of thing when she's pregnant. But it was a very polished video that was on her Instagram. Can't blame them. But it was very cute, and their daughters are extremely cute, and I can't wait to see baby boy Lindor making an appearance in a post-game press conference.
Do you think it's going to be a Francisco Jr.? I reckon that might be.
I reckon so.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah. And ladies, we have one last question from our socials for us all. What are your plans for Mets trips this year?
Still holding hope for opening weekend for me. I know Trace. I know every time I speak to Tracey, she's like, "You come in, you come in." I I know. I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. I will know for sure within the next couple of weeks. I think it's going to be. I'm not giving up hope until the last minute, but home close, and then something in July. Hopefully, between we were talking about this, weren't we, Tracy, the other day? I was trying to work out if I can try and catch the David Wright retirement game and a couple of games of the Angels series while they're try and work it out time-wise. And I will definitely be there in August because my crazy brother has booked us a gig at MetLife at the end of August. And I think the gig's on the Wednesday. We have 2 separate series either side of the gig. So my armchair Braves fan of a brother has no choice but to come to Met games with me either side of the gig. So I will definitely be there twice. So definitely August and home close. Hopeful for a couple of other trips before that.
Jojo?
I've got to save myself. I put all my eggs in a September basket. I'm going in September for a bit of Padres and a bit of Nats, I think. So let's hope it's, we're
going to
reached
be
a
in
crescendo
contention.
and it's going to be exciting, and hopefully they're not too stressful by then. But yeah, I've got to wait patiently somehow until then.
Yeah. I've got
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I'll just live it through you two until then.
I've got 2 trips booked. I've got opening week, home opener booked. Hopefully a couple other games. Not actually booked the other games yet. I've only booked home opener. And I've booked David Wright's retirement.
I know I can't top that, but one of the September games, I've got the seats right in front of the SNY booth.
Nice.
Yeah. So if I can attract some attention, I'll try.
We can have a word with our mate John.
Yeah. And Matt and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're being asked if you could have a picture, who's your number 1 target to take a picture with?
Easy. Mrs. Met.
Yeah. Fair.
Or Alex Cohen.
Madam, Miss Toria, you are going to be there opening day, and I'm going to get my hug.
You are going to get your hug, my love, and we will take a photo and share it with the world because we love hanging out at the ballpark. We live like an hour away from each other, but we actually see each other more
in New York than we do in the UK.
Here. But yeah, my photo, my darling, will be with you. Failing that, just Keith and Andes would be lovely. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
And Alex. I've already talked about Alex. I'm not greedy much. I've got my Howie, obviously. So I'll always take pictures with Howie. Another one. But yeah, just Howie, Keith, Alex, Trace. That's it. I'm done. I'm good.
I'm in high company there.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you rank in that list, Tracy, but you're in it.
Well,
obviously,
yes. And that was from our friend CJ, who is Belgium's, if not the world's, biggest Jeff McNeil fan. So I bet he was pleased when Jeff turned up at spring training.
I bet. We love you, CJ.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart, CJ. Love you. So if you've got any other questions for us, you can catch us on the social. Sorry.
Photos. Was it just me? Am I the only person on your photo list? That can't be right.
Yeah, Alex, obviously.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Now, are you done interrupting me?
I am. I'll shush.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So if you've got any other questions for us, or you'd like to comment, share, subscribe, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, I refuse to call it X, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, the whole lot. We are at MetsInTheUK, and you can join in the conversation with the hashtag MITUK. We would love to see you on our socials because we love you all lots, don't we, ladies? And Joe would even give you hugs.
You're asking too much now.
Guess what we get to do next week, ladies?
Talk about games?
We get to talk about
first game. Because it's on Saturday and it's a UK friendly time because it's spring training.
It is. I'm going to have our Tom here.
He bloody better be.
Keeps you two under control, Tom does. I miss Tom, because otherwise she's just wild. Can't kill him.
That's us.
Back,
Yeah.
Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. How dare you abandon us?
But yes,
See? Wild.
yes, we should be here watching First Kittens on Saturday. Bring it.
Yes. So make sure you follow us on the socials to get our live reactions of actual Mets baseball. Actual Mets baseball. And all that leaves to say is, let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.